Welcome back to another class at Evean. It's a Halacha series. We are starting today Pitchet Shumuel. The Pitchet Shumuel is very long, so what we're going to end up doing is we're not going to say part 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 because it's going to be a lot only on the Pitchet Shumuel itself. So what I'll do is I'll say part 10a. So today's class is going to be part 10a, and the following class will be part 10b. Until we finish the Pitchet Shumuel, it's always going to be part 10, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever part it's going to be. Today the Pitchet Shumuel wants to tackle the whole Ramah that we've been delving into in the previous classes with the Bash, where the Ramah said that if you have a woman that lost her mind, or halachically is able to divorce her, but she doesn't want to accept the get, the Ramah said you're allowed to be lenient, and he's allowed to go ahead and marry another woman. We did see what is required of him, according to different Rishonim. But according to the Ramah said he's allowed to go ahead and marry another woman, even on top of his original wife that he already has. Comes the Pitchet Shumuel today in Od Tezayin, and he says, Shenishtatet, is going on this piece where the Ramah says, in a place where the first one is not divorceable, for example, she lost her mind, and so on and so forth. This is what the Pitchet Shumuel is going on. The Pitchet Shumuel begins, Ein Be'er Heitev. He says, look into the Be'er Heitev. If we look into the Be'er Heitev in Siv Kad and Chav Bet, he also writes Shenishtatet, and then he writes what we saw in the Bash, in Od Chav Gimel, in the Shurim that we did part 7 and part 9. All that we did in part 7 and part 9, Be'er Heitev, he goes and he quotes it over here. So, back into the Pitchet Shumuel, the Pitchet Shumuel says, look into the Be'er Heitev, Ma shekatav bedarki Moshe katav, etc. Ad shenahagu lahachmir. Right? He's just telling you, go look into the Be'er Heitev, which we did it in the Bash, what he wrote in the name of the Darki Moshe, until the words that it's a minhag for people to be stringent. So let's just go do that Be'er Heitev, and then we'll come back over here to the Pitchet Shumuel. The Be'er Heitev says, Katva Kolbo. The Kolbo wrote, De'en lahatir cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, ela al pi mea anashim migimel kihilot migimel artzot. The cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom should not be waived only through 100 men from 3 congregations, from 3 countries. Ubedarki Moshe katav, and the Darki Moshe wrote, and this is exactly where the Pitchet Shumuel wants us to see this language. He wants us to see. Ubedarki Moshe katav, the ein tzarich bezeh azman. You don't need this nowadays. Lahatir al yidei mei anashim, to permit a guy to go ahead and get married to a second wife through 100 men. Why? Ki kvar kala azman chen Rabbeinu Gershom, because the time of because the chen Rabbeinu Gershom, the time for it has already expired. Ve'eno elo minhag shenahagu lehachmir. It's only a custom where the people act upon it as a stringency. People accepted the chen Rabbeinu Gershom as a stringency. That's what the Pitchet Shumuel wants us to see in the Be'er Heitev. So let's go back into the Pitchet Shumuel one more time. I'm Be'er Heitev, look into the Be'er Heitev, Siv Kad and Chav Bet, which we did. Masha katav, what he wrote, Ubidarki Moshe katav, etc. Ashen Agul HaChmir, which we just saw. V'hu midivrei habash. Those are coming from the words of the Bash. In Siv Kad and Chav Gimel, where we actually did it in part 7 of the Shi'ur. V'sham misayem v'zelo shono. Over there, the Bash concludes, and this is his language. Lachen kalal kan elu shnei dinim. That's why the Ramah included over here these 2 dinim, these 2 laws. Now we have to understand like this. The Bash is telling us right now, again, we saw this in part 7, but I'm going to go over it one more time because it's written over here. Lachen kalal kan elu shnei dinim. Therefore, the Ramah, he went ahead and he included over here these 2 laws under one umbrella, meaning when it says in a place where the first one is not divorceable, what did the Ramah do? He just said in the case where the first one is not divorceable, and he gave me 2 cases. One where she lost her mind, and the second one where he's able to divorce according to halacha. He's comparing these two laws to one another. He says, how do I know they're comparable to one another? Because he put it under one umbrella, under one theme of not divorceable. So back into the Pitchet Teshuva. Lachen kalal kan elu shnei dinim. That's why he included over here these two laws, which are what? Kenishtatet, when she lost her mind, ukishu min adin ligorsha. And when halachically is able to divorce her. That's all the Rama says. Shemamina shneim shavim. Learn from over here that they're identical. Ukishu min adin ligorsha lo teken Rabbeinu Gershon. וכמו שכתוב בסימן כ"ו עד כאן לשון. That's the language of the Beit Shumuel. And it's just, again, it's the Beit Shumuel that we saw. And when halachically is able to divorce her, the Bash is telling us the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom was not enacted, like it's written in Siman Kuf Tetvav. That was part 8 of the Shu'ur. That was part 8 of the Shu'ur, correct. If you remember, we did part 7, and then we actually elaborated. We brought the Ramah from Siman Kuf Tetvav Halacha Daled in Evean Hazaer. We had a whole class only on it alone, where a woman goes against the Jewish laws, and the husband is able to divorce her against her will. Now, before we do continue over here, I want to just make a small point, which is, whenever I say the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, there are two points which fall underneath the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom. Point number 1 is, the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom was that a man is not allowed to have 2 wives. Point number 2 under that same Cherem is that a guy, for the Ashkenazim, that a guy is not allowed to divorce his wife against her will, without her knowledge. He has to ask her for her consent. Now, whenever we're going to say over here now, unless I change it, whenever we're going to say over here Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, just understand that these 2 points are really underneath one Cherem. The point of having 2 wives and the point of divorcing your wife against her will. Both of these things that Rabbeinu Gershom went and he made a Cherem on him. He said anybody's going to marry another wife on top of his original wife, he's going to be excommunicated. Anybody's going to go and he's going to divorce his wife against her will, without her consent, he's going to be excommunicated. These 2 laws go under one Cherem. Just think about it like that, because you'll see it's going to get a little bit complicated, okay? Okay. So, what happened over here? What did the Bash say? The Bash said, "Ukishu min adin ligarsha," when halachically is able to divorce her, lo teken Rabbeinu Gershon. Rabbeinu Gershon did not make the institution of the Cherem. Which part of the Cherem? We're learning right now that the part of the Cherem of having 2 wives. Even though if you look into Siman Kuf Tetvav Halacha Dalet, it more sounds that it's going on the Cherem part of divorcing your wife against her will. That's the way it sounds over there. But what is the Bash doing right now? The Bash is sounding like this. That this halacha that Ramah brought down over here, in a place where the first one is not divorceable, for example, when she lost her mind, or when she is halachically, when halachically she has to be able, when halachically he is able to divorce her, and she doesn't want to accept the get, so then we say he's allowed to marry another woman. This second point over here, when it says halachically he's able to divorce her, the Bash wants to learn this piece that it is going on a woman that behaved immodestly. Like we spoke about this in part 8 of the Shu'ur. Remember, we did this Bash. Rabotai, if you do the Bash in part 7, you'll have a better understanding. I don't want to go through every single detail. That's why there's parts to it. So, what the Bash is saying is like this. I don't have a blackboard in front of me right now, but it would be nice if I could write it for you. Alright, let's see, hopefully maybe you guys want to write it down. The Bash is something like this. Why did the Ramah have to go ahead and put these two type of women, a woman who lost her mind, and a woman who went, and a woman who's halachically divorceable. Why did you have to put them together? So comes the Bashta, says very simple. To tell you, do you know what the case over here is speaking about? When it says Shumi Nadin Likarsha, that halachically is able to divorce her, you know what this halakha is speaking about? It's speaking about, like we saw in halacha Kuf Tetvav, in halacha Dalet, clearly it says that a woman who goes against the religion of the Jewish woman, she doesn't keep modesty, the husband is able to divorce against her will. Easy. And over there, the Ramah said that there's no Cherem Rabbinic Gershom. So from here, there, the Bash wants to bring it over here, and the Bash wants to tell you, just like over there, there's no Cherem Rabbinic Gershom, so over here, there's no Cherem Rabbinic Gershom. That's why the Bash wants to basically lean towards the Darkei Moshe and the Ramah, that in such scenarios, they're allowed to go ahead and get married to another wife, which is their second wife, without a problem. You don't need 100 men, you don't need nothing. That's the way the Bash wants to come across. So let's just see that one more time in the Bash. Lechen kalal kan, not in the Bash, in the Pitchit Shuv, which is quoting the Bash. Lechen kalal kan elu shedinim, therefore he included over here these two laws. Ki nishtated ukshu minadin legarsha. When she lost her mind and when halachically is able to divorce her. Shema minash tehim shavim. Learn from over here that they're equal. Why did you have to put both of them under one rule? So he says now he elaborates more. Now, the Bash is understanding right now when it says when halachically is able to divorce her, the Bash wants to understand this point of the Ramah. It's like this. When halachically is able to divorce her, lo tiken Rabbini Gershom. There's no enactment of the Cherem Rabbini Gershom on the husband. וכמו שכתוב בסימן קט"ו, עד כאן לא שולח, בוא down in סימן קט"ו, up to here's the language of the Bash. So basically, what is the Bash doing? The Bash is telling me like this, that if you look into Siman Kuf in Halacha Dalet, you'll see clearly the Ramah says there's no Cherem of Rabbini Gershom on a woman who transgressed halachot for women. Very simple. There's no Cherem. Good. Over here also, by the case with the woman who lost her mind, and over here where it says halachically is able to divorce her, we're going to tell you there's no Cherem of Rabbini Gershom, and we're not going to go like the Kolba and the Beit Chadash and the other Rishonim that tell you, no, you need 100 men. We're not going to do that. This is what the Pitchit Shuv is bringing down. But, Rabotai, here we go. He says, Ve'ayin b'tishuvat Shav Yakov. We look into the response of the Shev Yakov, Siman Aleph, Shehisig Alabash. Says, look into Siman Aleph where he argues on the Bash. Let me tell you outside. This is that the Bash wanted to make a statement. What's this? Let's see if you guys can be able to see it. If yes, not. I'm gonna try something. Okay. Rabotai, I believe in writing only because it just makes you better understand what your eyes see. And how they say, picture speaks 1,000 words, or 1,000,000 words, whatever it is. Okay, Rabotai, if you guys want, you can zoom in. I don't know how far you guys are from this, but if you want, you can zoom in We see over here, min adin ligorsha, right over here, right? Min adin ligorsha, right over here. When the Rama used this statement over here, min adin ligorsha, what did the Rama mean? The Bash, which is over here, the Bash wants to learn that this min adin ligorsha, halachically you are able to divorce her. He's going on Siman Kuf Tetvav, Halacha Daled, where a woman is immodest, where she behaves against the law of woman. That's what he wants. That's the way the Bash wants to learn over here. So that's what he says. Since over there you don't have the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, so over here you don't have the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, and I don't need 100 rabbis. Fine. Comes today the Shev Yakov, the Pitchei Shumuel brings the Shev Yakov, and he says like this, Rabotai, look how beautiful the Torah is. This is, Rabotai, what you call learning Torah Be'iyun. You have over here Shev Yakov. The Shev Yakov says, you know something, I don't understand you, Bash. How did you want to learn this? How did you want to learn this Ramah that's going on Siman Kuf Tetvav? How did you make a comparison from there to here? So therefore you're telling me the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom is not applicable. So that's not true. You know what the Shev Yakov is going to tell you? This one, the Ramah says, Umina din ligorsha, that halachically you have to divorce her. Do you know what this is going on? It is going on a woman, Rabotai, it's going on a modest woman who follows the laws of religion. Just what? She just can't have children for 10 years. Right over here, right? Because she cannot have children for 10 years. That also means halachically is able to divorce her. Now it changes the whole ball game around. Because if I'm going to learn this Ramah where he says, Shehumin adin ligorsha, that halachically he's able to divorce her, and if I want to tell you he's going on a woman, and a man that did not fulfill the mitzvah of purvu, that's why he's able to divorce halachically. Because 10 years they've been together and they haven't had a child. If I want to learn like that, then it comes out over here that it's not, this reasoning of Rabbeinu Gershom is still applicable, and I need 100 rabbis to allow me to give the guy permission to go get married to a second wife. Let's see this inside. V'ayim b'teshuvah Shev Yakov, look into the response of the Shev Yakov, in Evan Hazaer Siman Aleph, she sig al Bash, he disagreed on the Bash. V'katav, and he said, the Mashikalal Rama Hani Beidinim, this is the Rama included these two laws, the law of a woman losing her mind, and the law of divorcing the woman halachically. Ha'inu, you know what that means to say? Heicha shahadin legorsha, that is where the halacha is going to tell you he has to divorce her. Umikol makom he lo pasha. Nevertheless, she's not negligent. She was not immodest. She didn't do sin. Kigon, for example, shahata yushanim v'lo yalda. For example, she waited 10 years and she did not give birth to anything, to no children at all. V'zeh shava im nishtatet. This is really equal with a woman who's nishtatet. A woman who lost her mind. Because why? When you look at a woman who lost her mind, is she acting immodestly? No, she just lost her mind. She went nuts. Whatever it is about, she went nuts. But is she acting in an immodest way? No. But according to you, the Bash, you want to say that they're equal, and you want to compare this case over here of the Ramah to the case of Kuf Tetvav and the Evan Hazaer later on. But over there is immodesty, but over here is modesty. They're not comparable. But the way I want to explain it, says the Shev Yakov, that if you're going on a woman who is modest, just like a woman who lost her mind, she's also modest. They're both equal. They're identical. Just what? So what does it mean that he's able to divorce her halachically? Very simple. He's able to divorce her halachically, meaning since they didn't have children for 10 years, and the husband has the mitzvah to do a purvu, that's why he's able to go ahead and divorce her. But look what he says. Ubishneim, but in both of them, tzarich hatara mikuf rabbanim. You need permission from 100 rabbis.